Okay, so today we are looking into the third quality called Cāga. Cāga, yeah, Cāga. It can be translated as liberality or generosity. It's actually a wide spectrum, from generosity to liberality. It can mean a lot. Yeah, it's actually a wide spectrum. So let us slowly explore and see why Cāga come at the third quality after Saddha and Sila. Okay, so the stories go back to the person who asked this series of questions. Yeah, who was the one that asked the Buddha the series of questions as a lay disciples? Mahanama. Mahanama. Who is Mahanama? Maha, big. Nama, name, big name. Yeah, literally translation, yes, that's his name. Mahanama means big name. But actually, Mahanama is the Sakyan Raja. The Sakyan Rajas from the Sakyan families. You know, when the Buddha's in his enlightenment in the fifth, a few years, he went back to Kapilavastu, and he actually have influenced many Sakyan princes to join him. Yeah? Any of those that you can name of? Huh? Ananda, yes. Who else? The Sakyan princes that joined the Buddha. Devadatta, yes. Huh? Anuruddha, yes. Yeah, many of them. Yeah, many of them. And suddenly, right, all the Sakyan princes go and join the Sanghas. There was a vacuum, There's a vacuum in the monarchy, the royal family. But still, it's a big family. There are brothers and siblings. So actually, in many of the families, the brothers will decide among few of us who going to join the Sangha and who going to stay back to handle all the royal chores. Royal, there are many chores also, as well. Yeah, and someone somehow in one of the family will have to take over the crown. Yeah, because we have Siddhartha went forth, then the son, Rahula, also went forth. Suddenly, who is going to take over the crown? There's a vacuum. Now in England, we know that there is a coronation coming up, yeah, because this Prince Charles III is going to take over after waiting for I don't know how many years, yeah. But if he let anything happen to him, there is a hierarchy of who will be in line, taking after the crown or inherit the crown. So in the Sakyan family, they also have such sort of arrangements. So Mahanama, between him and Anuruddha, just now someone mentioned Anuruddha, they are brothers. They are very close brothers. Mahanama is the elder brother of Anuruddha. So between them, they also have a heart-to-heart talk. They say, you join, I join, you stay, I stay. So they have a heart-to-heart talk, okay? And now Aruna said, okay, I will join the Sangha members, and this Raja Mahanama have to stay back. Yeah, even though his inclination is also to join the Sanghas members. But since he's the elder brother and this brother of him, Anuruddha, have decided, let's make his choice. So he said, okay, I will stay back. I will stay back. But nonetheless, we can see he's a very spiritual person. That's why in the Buddha's dispensations, in the discourse, you can see there are many, many, many Mahanama Sutta. There are many, at least 5, 6 of them. These are all the conversations that recorded between the Buddha and Mahanamas on the pertinence questions on practices and all the responsibilities. Yeah. So I want to give you that context of the background so that you know why these suttas or where or who is being held. At the same time, this quality of Cāga is very closely related with Mahanama as well, after learning from the Buddha. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so in this discourse, have any of you have read through the sutta after 2 weeks? Okay, it's also good to pick out readings. Yeah, when we present, we try to elaborate further, but at the same time, because different even commentators, yeah, they will also explain differently. So it's good to after the session go and pick up different translation. You have Bhikkhu Buddhist one, you have Bhikkhu Stanisaro, just to name a few. There are many different translations on the sutta. So it's also good to go and read out and try to understand from a different perspective. Yeah. Okay, so in this sutta, there's a series of questions that Mahanamas address to Buddha. So the first one he asks, how is one a lay follower? Yeah, how is one a lay follower? How? Okay, to which the Buddha give very simple and straightforward answers: to take refuge. Yeah, to take refuge. This has been covered 2 weeks ago. Refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Then subsequently he asks, how is one a morally virtuous lay follower? Okay, so in this context, the Buddha talked about, because it's addressed to lay disciples, so it's the five morally precepts. Okay, then subsequently there is this another long list of the 8, yeah, that we're trying to cover now. That how does the lay follower live for his own welfare? Okay, firstly he said, but not for the welfare of others. Then subsequently he asked, how does the lay follower live for his own welfare and for the welfare of others? Okay, so you can see the progressively searching or even confirmation of Mahanamo when he trying to approach Buddha in this series of questions. He want to know if after I take or I really claim myself as follower, I take precepts, I take refuge, I follow precepts, is there something that else in my practice that I can go wrong? So that's why I asked, how does a follower live for their own welfare, but not for the welfare of others? Yeah, that's what the Buddha always taught. A lot of things, when we practice uphold correctly, we should benefit ourselves and others. So the third question asks, not for the welfare of others. Is there anything in my practice, yeah, anything that I might do wrong, even though I'm trying to practice as a lay disciple? Then only subsequently he asks, how would a lay follower live for his own welfare and for the welfare of others? So that complete the whole cycles of the series of the questions that we all know that, okay, this is how in our own practice now, we should also take care and also be mindful. Some are things that we can be a benefit only on ourselves. But in order to benefit ourselves and others, this is something else that we need to be alert on. Okay, so this is the whole pictures of the suttas, where we can have the background and also the context, how this discourse was being carried out, to who, and also to what extent is the explanations or the teachings from the Buddha. Kiana? Okay, so these are the 8, and we are going to cover the third one on liberality, Cāga. Now, apart from being the practices for a lay disciples, these 8 qualities, if we examine carefully, these 8 qualities is also the qualities for us to enter stream entries. You know what's the stream entries? You enter the stream already. You can only go forward, you can go backward. That's stream enter or stream entry. It means actually it's the first level of the fruitions. Yeah. So let me repeat this again. Apart from being the ways how a lay disciple should practice, these 8 qualities if we really can do it perfectly, embrace to the most so-called mindful and also the purest that we can, it actually leads us to stream enter. Yeah, stream enter. In that, it means we are surely on the right path already. We won't have digressions. And next life also, we will be guaranteed, yeah, we will be healing on the right path. Isn't that a good news? Yeah, isn't that something that we should embrace? Yeah, rather than, next life we come back, we might be in a different country, different conditions that we might not able to have the chance to learn and hear the Dhamma. Yeah, but at least we have the sureness, we are already in the stream, then this is a sure path. Okay, that's why it's also important for us to follow to practice to the most in order to reach these stream entries. Okay, now liberality or Cāga. Let us come to some background understanding on Cāga. Anyone first time came across this word Cāga? First time. First time, okay. As you said, the translation was given by two more commonly, but if you can see, the definition or the spectrum that explain Cāga is more. Yeah, it can be leaving, abandoning, getting rid of, yeah, or giving out as a gift. We give out a gift, a donation, something that we handle to the other parties, generosity, and to the extent liberality. So you can see that wide spectrum of this word Cāga itself. Yeah, so Pali is very rich, and sometimes we need many of a few translation in order to get the meaning. But this is at least something that we can start with, something that we actually give out, yeah, giving, yeah, and also means a gift, yeah. Here, people will also confuse, hey, how about dana? Dana also means something like that, right? Yeah, dana and Cāga. So what's the difference between dana and Cāga? Anyone? We all know dana, right? Yeah, you give a lot. Dana as well. Dana come in 4 forms, yeah, as we know. Yeah, there can be material, can be monetary, can be services, can be giving people console, fearless, and also the utmost is Dhamma. So between Cāga and Dana, what's the difference? Anyone? Can I pick the BPS student? After convo already, doing everything. Okay. Okay, so dana can give out, can also means giving out a greed or not? Okay. Let me try to simplify that. When we have the intentions, a lot of things we talk about intentions. Yeah, a lot of things come into the mind first. When we have the intention to give, to abandon, that's Cāga. That mental state is Cāga. But when we translate that or transform that mental state to an actions, that's dana. Got it? So the intentions, the mental state is Cāga, but the act of performing, of giving, of handling, of donating, yeah, that's dana. So they are very closely related, but at the same time, this is a difference. One is more on the mental state, one is the conducts, either sometimes verbal as well, yeah, verbal as well as body conduct, that you perform this generosity, then it's called dana. You understand now, but usually we just go dana, so yeah, okay, we all understood. But here in context, we can learn a bit more the difference between Cāga and dana. Okay, no? Now, then what is the opposite of Dana or Cāga then? Tanha? Okay, great. Anything? Anything else? Anyone? The opposite, when there's there's totally absent of this generosity. Huh? Attachment. Okay. What else? Selfish. Okay. Huh? Stingy. Yes. You're not generous, so you are. I mean, when you're not generous, you are more or less of the stingy type. Okay. So here I would like to introduce another words that we can also learn. It's called Macchariya. It's actually the absence of Cāga. It means avarice, stinginess, selfishness. Someone mentioned selfish, or even envy. Yeah, this is when we don't have the quality of Cāgas. Yeah, we always say 自己自彼. In order for us to learn, we have to learn the opposite of the other qualities, so that when we have these unwholesome thoughts even arise in our mind, we'll be able to capture, oh, okay, this is something not wholesome or against our practices. Okay, so also something that we can pick up, Macchariya means the absence of this Cāga, the opposite. Yeah, can be stinginess, can be selfishness, or envy. Okay, yeah? So now, before I proceed, we will have Dhammapada readings. Yeah, every week we also have a Dhammapada readings to get us into the storytelling mood. Yeah, we all like stories, right? Yeah. So Jiva, you like stories? Okay, so now we will have Sister Ying Yan to deliver these Dhammapada stories that related to Cāga or Dana. Sister Ying Yan.
Morning, brothers and sisters. Today I'm going to retelling the story of the unrivaled almsgiving, Dhammapada verse 177. So during Buddha time, while Buddha residing at the Jetavana monastery, the Buddha uttered verse 177 of Dhammapada with reference to the unrivaled almsgiving of King Pasenadi of Kosala. So once the king Pasenadi of Kosala offered alms to the Buddha and other bhikkhus on a grand scale. So his subject, the ministers, in competition with the king, organized another alms-giving ceremony on a grander scale than of the king. So there's a competition between the minister and the king. Then the king and his subject keep on competing in giving alms in a grander and grander scale. So Queen Malika finally thought of a plan. This cannot go on. It's unhealthy. She asked the king to have a grand pavilion built. That's the plan from the queen. Next, the Queen Malika asked for 500 white umbrellas, 500 white elephants, tame elephants, 500 tame elephants, and also the 500 umbrellas will be held by the elephant and over the 500 bhikkhus. So in the middle of the pavilion, the queen also asked the king, please prepare 10 boats which are filled with perfumes and incense. And there were also 250 princesses. Keep fanning the 500 bhikkhus. Such a grand scale. So since the subject of the king has no princesses, nor white umbrellas, nor elephants, they could no longer compete with the king. So when all preparations were made, alms food was offered finally. After the meal, the king made an offering of all the things in the pavilion, which worth 14 crores, which is 10 million when I Google. So the two ministers at that time present. So one minister called Minister Junha is from India, not from Korea. Another minister is Minister Kala. So Minister Junha was very pleased and praised the king of having offered alms so generously to the Buddha and the bhikkhus. So he also reflected that such offerings could only be made by the king. He was so glad that the king would share the merits of his good deeds with all the beings. On the other hand, the minister, most likely is a finance minister, so thought that the king was only squandering by giving away 14 crores in a single day, and that the bhikkhus would just go home, go back to the monastery and sleep. So what a waste. So in short, the minister Junha rejoiced with the king in his unrivaled charity, while the minister Kala did not. So after the meal, the Buddha looked over at the audience and knew Kala the minister was feeling how he feel. He then thought that if he were to deliver a lengthy discourse of appreciation, Kala would get more dissatisfied and in consequence would have to suffer more in his next existence. So out of compassion for Kala, the Buddha delivered only a short discourse and returned to the Jetavana monastery. So the king had expected a lengthy discourse of appreciation of his grand scale of almsgiving. And so he was very sad because the Buddha had been so brief. So he thought, had I failed to do something which I should have been done? Then he went to the monastery and seek for the clarification from the Buddha. On seeing the king, the Buddha said, "Oh, great king, you should rejoice that you have succeeded in making the offering of the unrivaled charity, asadisa dana. Such an opportunity comes very rarely. It comes only once during the appearance of each Buddha. But your minister Kala had felt that it was a waste and was not all appreciative. So, if I had given a lengthy discourse, he would get more and more dissatisfied and uncomfortable. And in consequence, he would suffer much more in the present existence as well as in the next. That's why I preach so briefly." Then the Buddha added, "Great king, fools do not rejoice in the charities given by others and go to the lower worlds. The wise rejoice in others' charities, and through appreciation, they share in the merit gained by others and go to the abode of the devas, which is the place where the devas residence." Then the Buddha spoke in the words as follows. "Indeed, misers, people who hoard wealth and spends as little, do not go to the abode of the devas. Fools do not praise charity, but the wise rejoice in charity and so gain happiness in the life hereafter." Dhammapada verse 177. Thank you for listening.
Sadhu. First time, right? Giving Dhammapada sharing. Yeah. Another round of applause for Sister Ying. Yeah. Yeah, well done, well done. Yeah, we are also rejoicing in when someone is doing good. So you like the stories? So do you like the stories? Yeah. So these stories relate a bit on the spirit of giving. Yeah. So when we come to these kind of stories, you don't start to analyze, 500 umbrella, 500 elephant, how to fit. Somehow all white color. Sometimes it's just to make the story more interesting. Yeah, that's why you don't suddenly go and analyze, a pavilion that can fit 500 monks, 500 elephants, 500 umbrellas. Macam mana? Yeah. Okay. So it literally means huge, huge, grand, and to the extent of that that generous from king personalities. Okay. Okay. Now, in our earlier recitations, we also talk about these recollections of the sanghas. Yeah, from what we also learned from the verse earlier, there's this recollection of the sanghas when we do offerings, when we pay our respect, when we come approach to the sangha members. This is the quality that we should recollect in the sangha members, because in 2 weeks back we also learned about this faith in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So when we recollect, is their good conduct, their upright conduct, wise conduct, and also the dutiful conducts among the Sangha's members, the Buddha's disciples, that we should recollect, that come to call to the mind when we do these offerings. Yeah, and this is subsequently the other verses that we talk about. These Buddha's dispensations, consisting these 4 pairs of person and 8 types of individuals. You know what are the 4 pairs and 8 types? Yeah? Yes? Any explanation needed? 4 pairs and 8 types. These are real numbers. These are not fantasy number. 4 pairs and 8 types. It means the 4 stage of attainments. Yeah, from the stream entries to the one returner, non-returner, to the arahants. Yeah, so one is on the path, one is already at the fruitions. So you have the 4 pairs and 8 types. So Sotapanna, the Sakadagamin, the Anagamin, and also the Arahant. These are the 4 pairs and 8 types. Yeah, so they are worthy of offerings, they are worthy of hospitality, they are worthy of gift, as well as reverential salutations. Okay, so this is something that we should also have faith when we do offerings to the Sangha members. Yeah, we know that our Sangha Day is coming. When is our Sangha Day? 13, it won't fall on our election day, Sunday, yeah, Sunday. So also, I think we, after learning all the, listening to the talks and learning, we also have to have that kind of qualities that we call when we do offerings. Yeah, don't start to have that unwholesome. Sometimes when we're doing something wholesome, right, these unwholesome thoughts will come on. We are offering ropes, we're offering requisite. Then suddenly you see someone next to you, wow, 10 ropes he offer, wow, 20 requisite. Wow, we're trying to show off. There's only 2 monks there. Huh? Or you think that, this monk look more senior monks, can I queue here? But the sister asked me to queue here. So when you offer that time, instead of recalling all these qualities, we must understand when we offer is to the community of Sanghas. It's not only that individual, that Sangha member that sit in front of us. Yeah. So this Cāga, this generosity, when we need to uphold it, we should be able to uphold also the wholesome qualities. Yeah, it's towards the whole communities, not only to this Sangha members or the others. Yeah. So when we have offerings, yeah, please also recall this quality in us to make our Cāga more pure. Yeah. To make our Cāga more extensive. This is how we can practice our Cāga. Okay. And of course, just now we mentioned about the person who asked this question, this series of questions, this Mahanama, is acknowledged by the Buddhas as the his tremendous generosities, and declare that to be the chief of those who give choice armed food to the Sangha members. He know, of course, as a Rajas, he also can give, and he know what's best to give to the Sangha members. So this Mahanama is also well acknowledged of his tremendous generosities. Yeah, that's why I spend a bit time to explain to you who is Mahanama. Now, this is from another Mahanama Sutta. That's why I said there are quite a number of Mahanama Sutta. This is from the Samyutta Nikaya 55.37. You can also pick up the sutta and have a good read. It's a very short sutta, but actually very meaningful, very profound in the sense. Yeah? In these suttas, Mahanama also asks more or less the same questions. Sometimes he repeats the questions. Either he want to enforce his understanding, or sometimes he forgot, I think. So he asked the same questions. But good for us as well, because we also will forget. Yeah, we also forget. So when we read the sutta, it also recall our memory as well. Now, in this sutta, this Mahanama asks about the practices again for a lay follower. Okay, in this case, this is what the Buddha answered. He said the true or the spiritual quality of a true lay followers. Okay, is this 4 areas: accomplishments in moral virtue, sila sampada; accomplishment in faith, saddha sampada or sampanno; accomplishment in generosity, which is Cāga sampanno; and accomplishment in wisdom, panya sampanno. Okay, the sequence between virtue and saddha, slightly change a bit, but it means it's actually explained the same, because a lot of things we build on one quality to another. Yeah, build on one quality to another. As we practice, and we can see the results, our confidence is stronger. Yeah. So when we talk about moral virtue, the sila, as we practice, we get more confidence. We can see the results. We can experience. We will get more confidence. So in this case, in this suttas, it talk about accomplishments. Means you will have a lot of it, make complete of it, and to the fullness of it. Yeah, make much of it. This is what the word sampada or sampanno stand for. So again, it starts from virtue, sila, or even saddha. Yeah, and from there, we slowly build towards Cāga, generosity. Yeah, so it will be very, omniscient if we start to practice. The more we practice, in fact, the more we can also let go, right? We are less attached. There's not someone said attached. Yeah? We can also be less attached. Yeah, and we know that because this practice is to benefit ourselves and also others, we are also become more considerate. Yeah, the self identity is also started to shrink. Yeah, sometimes we consider more of others first before our own interests. Yeah, so this progressively from sila, saddha to Cāga, you can see it actually progress as we put in efforts in our practice. Yeah, a lot of time when we talk about precepts, yeah, what's the usual word we try? Abstain, right? Abstain. Oh, we abstain from this, we abstain from that. So initially, it's not easy. It's not easy. We really have to some extent, even sacrifice, I would say, in order to observe the precepts. Why do we say that? When we are angry, that's it. When we are agitated, the first response is to, mothers will know, when you are angry, agitated, the first response is to scold, to let out your anger, isn't it? Yeah? But you talk about, I have to also be mindful of the precepts. I have to have musawada veramani. I have to abstain from. So we have to really control our temper. We have to swallow sometimes our these emotions in order to observe the precepts. Yeah. So there are things that might go against our liking, let's say, or even our habitual when we really do practices. Yeah, initially, but over the time, as we can see, when we have this accomplishments in the virtues as well as the faith, you can see the more we can let go, the more we can give in, the more we can just surrender. Yeah. So that's why it say the accomplishment is built from one quality to the other. If you really practice, we can see the whole path, the whole journey, it actually built from one to the other. That's why it's also important to have these three, at least these three qualities, fully understand, put into practice before we go into the next five. The next five are a bit, not to say easier, but it come more naturally if we're able to get this Saddha, Sila, and Caga understood and also can put in practice more diligently. Okay, so you can see why the Buddhas have such wisdom to at least put the sequence in this way and also put us in the right foundations. Yeah, the faith have to be there, the virtue have to be there, then the quality of giving. Okay, so far, can I? So this is another sutta on Mahanama Sutta that asks about, again, spiritual quality of a true lay follower. Again, these four qualities is also the qualities to enter stream. It's also the stream enters qualities. Yeah, so if you can master them, if you can really, really practice them, you are on the sure path. Yeah, you are on the sure path. The most 7 times, if you achieve Sotapanna before you can, reborn to this samsaric world. Okay? Isn't that something promising? Yeah, who can promise you such things? Yeah, but we have to put a lot of efforts, put a lot of attention, put a lot of reminders. Yeah, in our practice. Okay. Now, in the elaborations on Cagas, the Buddha also put in this context. He said, here, Mahanama, the lay follower live the household life. Yeah, pay attention. It's still addressed to household life, people like you and me, household life. Yeah. Here, the lay follower live the household life with a mind free from the stain of stinginess. What was the Pali word that we just learned? Stinginess? Okay, at least you remember. Not even a stain of stinginess. Means this unwholesome thought, when we want to do Caga, it won't be there. Not even a stain of stinginess. Yeah, freely generous and open-handed. When we talk about freely generous and open-handed means what? It actually means there's no judgment. There's no discriminations. Sometimes when we want to do good, right? A lot of time we fall back on these two. We choose people that we know, or if we feel better one, we can give a bit more lah. Yeah. People that we do not know, yeah, or we get a bit suspicious, then sorry lah, I'm not in the mood of giving. So you see, to accomplish these Cagas, it has to be freely generous, open-handed, delighting in letting go. Are you delight in letting go? You should be delight in possession. When we feel bad, we have a bad day, right? I think ladies can relate to this. We go shopping. We go buy things. It makes us feel good, satisfied, or we have a good meal. Yeah, I don't know about guys lah. I can talk about it. Yeah, usually we want to process. We want to have more things. Then we feel good. But this delighting in letting go. You see how the spiritual value is this? Delighting in letting go, no. Then somewhat devoted to charities. You're really happy to give, to be able to give, especially to those that need it. Yeah, especially to those that need it. And you are in the positions with the ability to give. Isn't you feel really happy to be able to give? So this is when the Buddha emphasized on the accomplishments of Cagas, and of course, delighting in giving and sharing. Yeah, sometimes we can't give more, but be able to share. Yeah, things might not be enough for a greed, but subsequent it should be enough for when we come to share among us. So this is what the Buddha, yeah, told Mahanama the accomplish in charity or Caga. Easy or not? Can. Yeah. Once we understand, once we have the saddha, yeah, and we also be skillful in our sila, can be done. Yeah? Accomplishment in Cagas with no discrimination, no judgment, yeah, and really delighting, not give ready, then we regret, I shouldn't have given so much. Or I shouldn't have given more. No? Especially when we give dana, don't try not to have those kind of unwholesome thoughts. A lot of time we regret after that. We talk about the Dhamma is supposed to be beautiful in the beginning, in the middle, and end. But a lot of time we regret after that. So try not to have that. When we really want to have this wholesomeness, when we really anchor, when we decide to be commit in this wholesomeness, try to have the holistic wholesomeness beginning, during, and also after. Rejoice. Yeah, just now the story talk about rejoicing as well. People have done good, we have done good, rejoice. Not regret. Yeah, not regret, because that again end up in a very unwholesome state. Yeah, so wholesomeness need to be make more, need to embrace more, so that our sila can also accomplishment even better. Yeah. So again, Caga as well. Yeah. No stain of stinginess. Yeah. Freely generous, open-handedly, delighting in letting go, devoted to charities, delighting in giving and sharing. Okay. So this is the quality, or even to the extent of accomplish in Caga. In Caga. Now, just now we also mentioned about stinginess. So in our practice, we also have to recognize what is holding us back. What is this unwholesome? Sometimes, it will pop up. Unmindfully, it will pop up, in our mind that actually can transform into our actions while we're trying to be good. So again, Buddha mentioned about 5 kinds of stinginess. Wow, stinginess also got 5 kinds. One. Never that we thought, oh, so elaborate one. Just now, to accomplish always not easy. Now we also must recognize these 5 kinds of stinginess. It's actually talk about 5 types. Okay, so let us explore what are the 5 kinds of them. Okay. Okay, I must well show all the 5 first. Okay. It means 5 kinds or 5 types. Yeah, we'll explore this one by one. First one is stinginess as to one's monastery or lodgings. Yeah, it might be more easier to relate as an ordained Sangha members, but we can also relate to our own. Okay, let's say you are gone for a retreat. Yeah, at a retreat. Sometimes retreat we do not know who is our roommates or dorm mates, right? Sometimes we can be assigned to a dorm with 10, 15 people. Yeah, and somehow rather that retreat, you were so lucky you were assigned to a room twin sharing. Twin sharing. So when you are first one there, you realize that, the condition is so nice. You attached bathroom, you got room facing the sun, morning sun, not the evening. Everything is so nice. You got the aircon, you're facing to your bed. But before you get to excited, happy with your lodging, the next day another yogis came in. Then realized, I have to share my room with this yogi. Then you started to have that stinginess. You start to worry about, I cannot hang my clothes all over the place. I have to share the bathroom. That kind of situation, you are actually put in the situations to share your lodging, your dwelling place with another person, and you feel stingy about it. So this is the first time of stinginess. Can you understand? Yeah. That's why I say could be more easier to explain if you are an ordained monks or nuns. They have kutis. Yeah. Sometimes they also end up sharing the kutis with other monks or nuns. So they feel very hard to have that generosity to share the dwelling place. So this is the first type. Even to us, sometimes it also happens. Yeah. So be mindful of that. Second is stinginess as to one's family or supporters. Yeah. Again, as an ordained monk, you'll be able to relate easy because they are supporters, lay supporters to certain monks and nuns. And you don't want them to also share the same supporter with others because you're afraid that others, monks or nuns, will win them over you. They are could be more charismatic, they can explain the Dhamma better, they can tell jokes better. Yeah, the supporters might be moved away. Yeah, but in our daily experience, we can able to relate as well. Especially even children's. Yeah, they have friends and buddies, right, in schools. Yeah, and one day you realize that the school have new students came in from other state, let's say, yeah, and because the new girl came in because with she got better stationery, this is in school, better stationery, carry nicer bag, and even outstand in results than you. You can suddenly find your buddies, your friends getting closer to her than you, or then you find that, I'm losing my friends, I'm losing my buddies. They used to follow me around, they used to like to praise me, but suddenly they all move to the others. So suddenly we also feel that we cannot have that generous heart to share this kind of friends and families or supporters. Yeah, probably in office, I think we also have this kind of situations. Yeah, any one of you have encounters office when we have office politics? You have groups, team A, team B, I don't know. Yeah, and then suddenly you find that this department should come to this team and shouldn't support the other team. Yeah, and nevertheless we know that we are all working under one company. Yeah, we are all the same employees, but still there are times where we really feel that we will lose that kind of support, that kind of friendliness from people that surround us. So we find people are stingy over sharing friends and supporters. Okay, so this is the second type of stinginess. Third one, stinginess as to one's gain. Yeah, this one I think is quite straightforward. Whatever the gains that we have, we don't want to share. Yeah, this is what I entitled. This is what I belong to me. We also have that absence of generosity to share, that stingy to share. So this is the third type, stinginess as to one's gain. Okay, stinginess as to one's status. Oh, of course, this is entitled to me, my name, my fame. You also don't want to share. If you have the what they call it, the competitions, and end up as the first in the list, and you find out that you have to share with someone else, you also Don't feel nice, isn't it? This is when we say stinginess to one's status. After all your hard work, after all your efforts that you put in, yeah, you feel, you really don't want to feel nice to share. Stinginess to one's status. And the last one is stinginess as to the Dhamma. What do you mean by stinginess to the Dhamma? You read something, very interesting, and you don't want to share with others. Got such thing or not? Got such case or not? Actually, Dhamma now is quite freely being shared on internet everywhere. You can Google also. Yeah, it's freely shared because after all, the practice is individual, but the knowledge and the information is widely available. But there are times when we read something, hopefully not lah, when we read something like in this case, this sutta, all the commentary have done it. One commentary have done it in a very more elaborate and always simple to understand. So I read, but I don't want to share. Yeah, so that I understand better, others won't. So this is stinginess as to the Dhamma. Hopefully not lah. Most of us, when we come to Dhamma, we love to share. Yeah, that's why today also we have Sister Ingyan here shared the Dhamma. Yeah, this is something wholesome. Okay, so this is something also beneficial. We want more people to know. Okay, so nonetheless, this is the 5 things, 5 kinds that we also have to be watch out. Even in our daily encounters, daily experiences. It can be from lodging to friends and families, to one gains, to one status, to one entitlements, to one's properties. Yeah. So 5 kinds of stinginess. Yeah. Okay. So when we're able to overcome this stinginess, it actually means we live up to the spirit of this Cāga in giving up. Yeah, and able to reduce our selfness. A lot of times, why we are not generous to share is because this self-identity is very strong. Since young, yeah, I'm sure even Suchiwa at her age, since young we have been learned this is mine. Even my niece, 2 years old, she will know this is mommy's phone, this is daddy's phone, this is mine. Since young we have learned. So this self-identity have been building since small. So when we come to our spiritual practices, yes, it's against the stream. We have to let go of this self. We have to make less of this self. In fact, it's selfless. It's against the stream. It's against our usual knowledge. That's why it's not easy. That's why we always say, it's so difficult. Being Buddhist is so difficult. What more practitioners? But what is more difficult? To be able to, or what is more promising, more something that more looking forward, that able to be out from this samsaric world, or to be reborn again and suffer. Yeah, sometimes the choice is us. Yeah, yes, we need some of this social knowledge and also our encounters to be able to survive. But at the same time, in order to practice or be diligent in our practice, a lot of time is really against the flow. Yeah, against the flow. Yeah, but if we have the confidence, if we have the understanding, I'm sure we can do this together. Okay, this self itself, it takes times. It takes times to reduce, but by a lot of understanding, a lot of working hard, a lot of efforts, slowly, but surely. slowly but surely. Okay, so five kinds of stinginess that we can also recognize them from the book of Anguttara Nikaya again, 5.254. Okay, so at the end of the day, you can see all our practices, all the roots leads to Caga. Leads to Caga. We know about these three defilements that we have: the greed, the aversion, the delusions. So this accomplishment in Cagas, in letting go, it all leads to getting off these defilements, overcoming these defilements by putting aside this self, this pride, this conceit that we have. Oh, that's why it's so unique and so important to really accomplish Cagas. When we're able to reduce our greed, give up, what do you call it, eat into our own interest to the extent. We consider our own interest and our own benefits less, but just to reduce this self, just to uphold this quality of giving. So the greed become less, the aversions becomes controllable, the delusions is replaced by wisdom, the reality. So all roads leads to Caga. All roads, our own practice will actually end us in giving out and put aside, and also this reduce of this self. And even even stream enterers. What's the three conditions or requirements to attain to the fruitions of stream enterers? Anyone? This is overall the defilements, but there are also these factors that we need to overcome or even abandon in order to attain the stream enterers. Anyone? Stream enterers, Sotapan? If you don't know, we do not know how to reach Sotapan. We only pray, only self-identity views. Remember the three factors? The self-identity views we have to overcome. Then doubts, uncertainties. Third one, grasping at rights and rituals, rules and rituals. So these are the three factors or three qualities when we assure that we have attained as Sotapan. So again, it's a lot of Caga, a lot of giving out, a lot of just surrender that identity of self. Okay, so you can see how important this quality of Caga, how important of this quality of Cagas. And again, like I said, in the 8 qualities that encaptured in these suttas, the first 3, Saddha, Sila, and Caga, we really have to understand them before the other subsequent 5 come more naturally. Because the other 5 talk about the desire to meet monks. Monks mean we're going to meet a wise person, we learn from them, we examine the Dhamma, we memorize them, and we also put more serious into our practice. But before these 5 can come more naturally or more sort of smooth in the progress, this fundamental of Sila, Saddha, and Caga, we also have a lot of understanding and also embrace them, make much more of them.